Mr. Paul Robinson, our keynote speaker, is a highly acclaimed business strategist and keynote speaker who specializes in transforming businesses to meet the new age challenges. An author of repute, he is also an expert in management, new age marketing, and branding. He is a futuristic thinker, and Kerala can benefit from his wealth of knowledge. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please invite Mr. Paul Robinson to deliver his keynote address.
The topic of the day is how to reinvent our business. You know that first we invent the business, then we reinvent the business. You all know as business people, how difficult it is to become successful. How hard we need to work to become successful. But we also know that you need to work double hard to stay successful. So in the usual way when we analyze business, when you talk about the life cycle of a business, people say we start the business, we grow the business, then it matures, then it declines. But companies that has been sustaining for a few decades know that they have gone through a journey of continuous reinvention. Now, anybody who has been ever relevant today, they have gone through that process. Whether it is professional or persons, even if you look at even movie stars, place like Kerala, you have movie stars who have been in the A-list, in the limelight for the last 3 decades. And the reason they are is because they have not stuck to the time, they didn't typecast the role, they didn't just stick to any genre. They're willing to experiment different things and they stretch themselves out and try different things to stay relevant. It's pretty much the same thing when we talk about business as well. But all of us, if you have to make that change, we need to go through some defining moment in life. What happens when you're successful at work, when you're successful at your business? Success gets you intoxicated. And the side effect of that is that you lose your appetite. You lose your hunger to be more successful. I know people who have become, the entrepreneurs and they have built the family businesses and then they become the chairman of the company and the next thing they expect is the next level of leadership to have that hunger. But sadly what happens in some scenarios, they are already fed. They don't feel that hunger anymore. So talking about a defining moment, it was in the life of Lee Kun-hee, who was the chairman of Samsung. In 1993, he took a trip to America to see how the brand Samsung is doing in the United States. And he walked into one of the stores in California and he found out that the Samsung products, the television especially, was at the back shelf collecting dust, while the competitions like the Sony and Panasonic were all kept in the front row in the prominent display. Though the business he was doing very well at that time, he understood one thing, that the business is headed for trouble. So immediately he called up most of his executives and asked them to come to Frankfurt for a 3-day conference. In that 3-day conference, Lee Kun-hee said, we need to change everything. Except your wife and children, you need to change everything in this company. And because he did that, and then the 3 days work what he did, then later they had about a 200-page transcript about the speech that he did. It was the most defining moment in the history of that company. And till this day, there's a new DNA that was born. I know people go through defining moment. But the sad part is that in good times, we all party. Only in bad times, we ponder. It's only when we hit the rock bottom, we really think about how can we make the change. You ask a company like Amazon, they say, in terms of business, they are on day 1. They ask them, what's your business like? They say, we haven't just got started. We just got started. There are companies who set up companies only to develop new businesses. Think in ways where we can reach out, we can grow, whether you look at horizontal growth or vertical growth, in whichever way we want to grow. Try to look in a direction what we can become. Because everything is constantly becoming. We are living what is they call protopia. Because everything is becoming. Nothing has become anything. Everything is becoming. Everything is in the constant flow of going to the next level. So, retool, reimagine, rewrite, rework, rebuild, recreate, reestablish, relaunch, rekindle,